Assalamu alaikum, grade 8. How are you? Faiza Nadeem stands here in front of you with your English lesson. But before I start my lesson, I must ask you a simple question. And my simple question is, are you hale and hearty? Going to school? I hope all of you are healthy and safe. And I hope all of you are attending your schools regularly and are concerned regarding the way you behave with your elders, with your peers and your parents. And you are concerned about your salah, which is your first verse. Alright, let's start today's lesson without much ado. Let's start the lesson. जी मेरा बहुत प्यारा बेटा और बहुत प्यारी बिटिया, what is the board telling you? The board is telling you that we are going to do unit 3, mysteries. Mysteries क्या होती हैं? गुमनाम कहानियां जिनका हमें मालूम नहीं होता क्या एंड है, कौन कातिल है, राइट? मिस्ट्रीज की सीक्वल का पहला हमने किया शर्लक होम्स, फिर हमने की द लिसनर्स, राइट? और उसके साथ का अब हम ये वाला थर्ड कॉम्प्रीहेंशन कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? ये कॉम्प्रीहेंशन है दाऊद्स राइट अ ट्रू स्टोरी एंड इट्स टेकन फ्रॉम योर ऑक्सफोर्ड प्रोग्रेसिव रीडर यूनिट 3 पेजेस 75 to 81. अब दाऊद्स राइट अ ट्रू स्टोरी, व्हाट इज द टाइटल टेलिंग यू? The title is telling you that it's about a boy Daud who was riding a vehicle and something happened to him. And that something is what you cannot believe. Let me briefly tell you the story. बाकी उसके जो एलिमेंट्स हैं वो साइड बाय साइड में आपको बताती रहूंगी. पहले मैं जल्दी से कॉम्प्रीहेंशन को ब्रीफली रिकैपिचुलेट कर दूं आपके लिए. हुआ यूं कि दाऊद एक लड़का था जो अपने ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स के साथ रहता था. उसके क्लास 8 में बहुत अच्छे मार्क्स आए और जब उसके बहुत अच्छे मार्क्स आए तो उसके पेरेंट्स ने उसको एक साइकिल लेके दी, ठीक है? दैट साइकिल वाज हिज प्राइड एंड जॉय. ही वाज वेरी हैप्पी विद द साइकिल विद इट्स डायनामो ब्रेक्स, ठीक है? और उसकी लाइट्स जबरदस्त और उसकी सब कुछ, लाइक ही वाज वेरी हैप्पी विद हिज बाइसिकल एंड ही रोड इट लाइक he was riding the airplane, ठीक है? And since there was no school in the area where he lived, he had to live with his grandparents who lived very near to the school. On weekly basis or on fortnight, he would go to his parents' house and visit them up because he really missed his family, especially his sister, who was the youngest in the house. So one day when he went to his parents' house, on his way back, his tire got punctured. He went to one of the villages nearby, had it fixed, and while he was coming back, he met a phantom. हुआ यूं कि जब वो वापस आ रहा था तो एकदम उसकी जो लाइट थी वो तेज हो गई और उसकी जो बाइसिकल थी वो ऐसा लग रहा था कि जमीन पे नहीं चल रही, हवा में दौड़ रही है. और जब उसने देखा तो झाड़ियों में से उसको एक स्टर्डी, लाइक हेवी बिल्ट giant nazar aaya. That giant had red eyes and that giant told Daud to stop. Daud did not because he was petrified. He rode like anything. आयते कुरानी पढ़ते पढ़ते वो भागता गया और जब वो थोड़ी दूर और आगे गया तो दोबारा उसको महसूस हुआ कि जैसे उसकी जो साइकिल के पहिए वो जमीन पे जम रहे हैं और उसके पाँव बहुत भारी हो रहे हैं और वो बहुत मुश्किल से पैडल कर रहा है. और वो इतनी मुश्किल से जब पैडल कर रहा था तो उसने महसूस किया कि उसकी बैक साइड पे वजन आ गया है. डर के मारे उसने पीछे मुड़ के भी नहीं देखा कि पीछे कौन आके बैठा है. बस वो आयते कुरानी पढ़ते अपने गांव के पास गया. जब वो रोशनी में गया तो उसको महसूस हुआ कि पीछे से वजन कम हो रहा है और उसकी टांगे भी फ्री हो रही हैं. और जब उसने उस मौके पे हिम्मत करके पीछे मुड़ के देखा तो उसको एक साया वुल्फ की तरह दौड़ता हुआ झाड़ियों में नजर आया. Are you scared? I was when I was reading the comprehension because it said it's a true story. So do read the comprehension. The English is very easy, very comprehensible. That's why you don't find vocabulary meanings or the translation on my board. Usually you do, but since it was a very, very easy comprehension, I've not done so. Let's move on to the question answers. और जो थोड़ी बहुत चीजें मैंने अगर रिकैपिटुलेशन में मिस कर दी है तो वो आपको बता दूंगी, ठीक है. सबसे पहला है रीडिंग फॉर इन्फरेंस का क्वेश्चन. हाउ डिड दाऊद फील अबाउट हिज बाइसिकल? यूज कोटेशंस फ्रॉम द टेक्स्ट टू सपोर्ट योर आंसर. दाऊद अपनी साइकिल के लिए क्या फील करता था? आई हैव रिटन हेल्पिंग वर्ड्स एंड फ्रेजेस. You have to construct the sentences on your own, ठीक है. And whenever you're writing the answer, you must pick up the words from the question, ठीक है. Daud felt ecstatic. Daud felt proud about his bicycle, right? We know because it was expressed in the comprehension that the bicycle was Daud's pride and joy. He rode it like a wind. He rode it like a kite rider. He would reach school full of energy and enthusiasm because he had enjoyed his ride so much that he wanted to learn immediately. Right? And there are furthermore lines that express Daud's feeling. अगर आप पैराग्राफ नंबर 5 या 6 पे देखें तो आपको और इस तरह की expressions मिल जाएंगी, right? So you can add your own. It's not mandatory that only these should be present in your answer. You can add more. There are more. Trust me, right? Question number 2. How did Daud feel about his education? Well, this is an open-ended question. The answer is not present in the comprehension. Open-ended question का क्या मतलब होता है? Open-ended question का मतलब ये होता है कि जिनके सवाल के जवाब आप अपनी मर्जी से लिख सकते हैं. तो आप इसका जवाब यूं लिखेंगे. अगेन आप क्वेश्चन में से वर्ड सिलेक्ट करेंगे. दाऊद न्यू अबाउट द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ हिज एजुकेशन बिकॉज he would never miss school at any cost. We know that he left his home early so that he could be back home with his grandparents on time and be ready for the school next day. And he lived with his grandparents, sacrificed his family life because he wanted to learn, he wanted to study, and there was no school in the vicinity of the area where he had lived. Right? Let's move on to the next question. Alright, how did Daud feel about his family? Use words from the text on your own. I have mentioned the words and phrases that were present in the text. Your own I'm going to give verbally, but those are going to be my own. You have to write your own sentences as well, right? So Daud felt very possessive about his family, right? Daud missed his family very dearly, especially his youngest sister. He would miss her very, very hard. But he had given up his family life for his academics. Every fortnight, he would ride back to his home, ride on his bicycle 30 miles to reach his home, just because he missed his family. Select 3 examples from the text which show how Daud rode his bicycle. How do you think the words you have selected help to make the writing interesting? अच्छा, कुछ तो वर्ड्स वही हैं जो हमने पैराग्राफ 1 से पिक किए थे, ठीक है. फर्स्ट के आंसर में लाइक he rode it like a kite runner, he rode it very fast, ठीक है. कुछ ये भी है कि he checked his tires and air and tested his brake and dynamo so that he is sure that he would be everywhere in time without any hassle. So he rode his bicycle not only very fast but with very care as well, right? And it helps us in making the comprehension more interesting by telling the trauma Daud must have felt when he encountered the supernatural being. ठीक है, हमको पता ये चल गया इन तमाम अल्फाज से कि दाऊद was very particular about his motorcycle, that Daud was very particular about his bicycle. We knew that he would ride it very fast, he would reach places very fast. We knew that he was very, very, very careful about the way not only he drove but the way he kept take care of his bicycle. ठीक है, तो इसमें कॉम्प्रीहेंशन ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग इसलिए हो जाता है कि वो एक अनफोर्सीन एडवेंचर के come across आ गया था. He came across an unforeseen adventure and how that specific adventure has affected the very meticulous Daud. Next question. Why did Daud enjoy visiting his family so much? Obviously, Daud would enjoy visiting his family because his mom would cook everything that he wished for. His mom would cook his favorite food and the entire village would come up to meet him. That would made him feel content, ecstatic. ठीक है? His father would love him, like everybody would love and take care of him because he was there only for a night. That's why he enjoyed visiting his family so much. How did Daud's mind change after the puncture on the way back to his grandparents' house? Well, Daud set off from his home timely in order to reach his grandparents' house before the sun sets. ठीक है, सूरज के डूबने से पहले वो इस टाइम पे निकल गया था कि वहां पहुंच जाए. लेकिन हुआ क्या, रास्ते में उसका टायर पंक्चर हुआ और अगर वो उस पंक्चर टायर के साथ बाइसिकल चलाता रहता, if he would have driven the bicycle with that punctured tire, his tire would have been ruined. So he walked 3 miles to the nearby village, got the puncture fixed and then rode back to his grandparents' house. But by that time he was seriously depressed and worried because then was the time that even if he would ride his bicycle very fast, he would reach his grandparents' house at midnight. अब हम बात करें villages की. villages में होते हैं बहुत सारी बातें supernatural beings के existence की. तो obviously those stories would have been running in his mind as well, right? Let's move on to the next question. Why do you think the figure wanted to stop Daud? अब एक हबशी बड़ा सारा काला, आंखें उसकी सुर्ख, आधी रात को खूब अंधेरे में आपकी बाइसिकल रोके तो आपसे क्या चाह रहा होगा? What do you think the figure wanted to hold up Daud? मुझे तो खौफ आ रहा है, आपको आ रहा है? He might have wanted to gobble Daud up. He might have wanted to take over Daud's body and do whatever he wills, to do pranks with the humans. So there is an endless list of the probabilities that you figure that supernatural being would have wanted from Daud. Let's move on to the question number 8. Select 3 examples from the text which shows Daud's fear. How would you have reacted? देखो 3 examples जो टेक्स्ट में दी हुई हैं वो कुछ इस तरह से हैं. मैं दोबारा फ्रेज आउट करती हूँ इंग्लिश में. The 3 examples from the text are as such that he was rigid with terror. He thought initially that it was a horrible trick being played on him by somebody, and then he started breathing in heavy gasps. कैसे? Like this. He had never breathed like this before he rode his bicycle. He was a pro. But since he was so worried, scared, he had started to breathe in gasps. Ab, how would you have reacted if you would have been in Daud's place? This is for you to answer. If I had been in Daud's place, seriously, I would have fainted. I would have died with heart stoppage then and there. In the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere, a figure stepping out from the bushes, all black, red eyes, and my cycle is doing something supernatural. Oof, I would have seriously died. Next is, why was Daud's second encounter even more frightening than the first one? Well, in the first encounter, he escaped. In the first encounter, he escaped. But when the second time he came across that figure sat on his bicycle. Along with that, he felt his legs being heavy. ठीक है? He felt as if his legs have become very heavy. He was finding it difficult to ride his bicycle. So the second encounter was more lethal than the first one. Why do you think the figure disappeared as Daud approached the light? Spirits are scared of lights. They are scared of being discovered. Right? There could be more powerful existence than them. Those existence would have killed them. So they did not want to come into light, to come across any problems. If you were Daud, how would you feel next time you had to bicycle back to your grandparents' house after visiting your parents? अगर आप दाऊद की जगह हैं और आपने ये एक्सपीरियंस इनकाउंटर किया है, तो आप कैसा महसूस करेंगे अपने माँ बाप के घर से वापस ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स हाउस में आने के वक्त? तो ऑब्वियसली if I would have been in his place, I would have never come back on my own. I would ask somebody to accompany me, drop me back to my grandparents' house, and then go back to the village. ठीक है? I would ask somebody to accompany me. Okay? I would not travel alone. And I would ask any elder person to be with me. Maybe you are brave enough to do so. You can have your own expression. ठीक है? This is what I would feel. If you feel you are brave enough to encounter a second encounter just like this one, then it's up to you. Now the next question is vocabulary, and they have given you all these vocabulary words and they have asked you to know the meanings. मैं आपको इनकी ट्रांसलेशन मीनिंग साइड बाय साइड सुनाती भी हूँ और सेंटेंसेस भी कंस्ट्रक्ट करती हूँ. एक्सटैटिक का मतलब होता है वेरी 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 हैप्पी, बहुत खुश. ठीक है? आई फेल्ट एक्सटैटिक as soon as I saw my result with all A's and A stars in it. Rutted का मतलब होता है टूटी फूटी सड़क. ठीक है? I rode the bicycle on the rutted road for only a while as it became smoother forward. Phantom होता है spirit, ghost. ठीक है? The phantom was smiling as I showed the signs of being horrified at its presence. Murky क्या होता है? Murky होता है soft सा. ठीक है? He was looking murky, hiding in the corner. Sturdy होता है strong built. ठीक है? The wrestler was giant and sturdy. Ethereal क्या होता है? Ethereal होता है being extremely happy. It was an ethereal flight. I was enthralled and enjoyed the flight. Petrified is scared, terrified and petrified. I was petrified thinking that I would be alone in the house. Formidable, formidable का मतलब होता है कि बहुत ही मजबूत. He was a formidable enemy and I had to work very hard in order to win the competition. Burden, बोझ. ठीक है? His friend's life, his friend's burdens was to be shared by somebody, so he decided to share it with him. Potholed होता है बेटा आपका dustbin. ठीक है? My mother asked me to pick the pothole and put it outside the house for the cleaner to pick it up. ठीक है? Phantasmic का मतलब होता है supernatural. ठीक है? It was a phantasmic experience which horrified me to my bones. ठीक है? यह adjective है उसका phantom का. Vice like grip, vice होता है गुनाह. ठीक है? Something that is wrong lawfully. Vice like grip का मतलब होता है कि ऐसी grip जो किसी खौफनाक गुनाह से related हो. इसका ये मतलब है कि the phantom was holding my hand in a vice like grip. ठीक है? Phenomenal, great, out of the world. ठीक है? It was a phenomenal success for Pakistan. Chuckling होता है हंसना, लेकिन ये होती है devilish laugh. ठीक है? जो बहुत कोई शरारत करके आप हंसते हो ना, that is called as chuckling. I chuckled as nobody realized that the prank was done by me. There are a few more. Let's go. Incandescent होती है सफेद सी लाइट, ठीक है, धुआं. The candle lit in an incandescent flame. Dejected का मतलब होता है rejected. I felt dejected when my project was disqualified. Robust का मतलब होता है active, ठीक है. He was robust and healthy early in the morning. Inferno होता है related to hell, ठीक है. The inferno smile of the ghost or the phantom scared Daud to his bones. Gloom का मतलब होता है sad, ठीक है. I was in gloom when I realized that my pet cat had died. Rasping का मतलब होता है sharp. The rasping voice of the teacher brought me back from my daydream, ठीक है. Prodigious का मतलब होता है बहुत ही जबरदस्त किस्म का, outsmart, shining, ठीक है. It was a prodigious honor to be given the Nobel Prize. And hoarse होती है बेटा आपकी आवाज जो बैठी हुई हो खांसी के साथ, ठीक है. In a hoarse voice, my mother told me to stop making a lot of noise, ठीक है. Speaking and listening activities the next, और इस एक्टिविटी में आपको कुछ सवाल किए गए हैं जिनका क्लास डिस्कशन होनी है. ऐसे करती हूँ मैं अपना व्यू पॉइंट दे देती हूँ, आप अपना व्यू पॉइंट फ्रेंड्स के साथ शेयर कर लें. डू यू बिलीव दिस ट्रू स्टोरी? हाँ जी. डू यू बिलीव इट? वेल आई डू. इन द ओपन एरियाज ऑफ विलेजेस these things are said to be existing, ठीक है. So I do believe that Daud is telling the truth. Who or what do you think this figure was? Well, according to the Holy Quran, there are 3 creatures: humans, angels and jinns. Obviously he might be one of the jinns, right? And do you believe in the supernatural? अब देखो बेटा, angels भी supernatural हैं और jinns भी supernatural हैं. तो होली कुरान हमको कहता है कि इन दोनों चीजों पे बिलीव करो. उसके अलावा भूत चुड़ैल या किसी की रूहें वगैरह नहीं होती, ठीक है. ये मेरा बिलीफ है, आपका अपना बिलीफ हो सकता है, राइट. सो यस, आई डू बिलीव इन सुपरनैचुरल. और राइटिंग में आपको ये दिए हुए हैं कॉन्जंक्शंस, और इन कॉन्जंक्शंस को आपको कहा गया है कि यूज करें अपने सेंटेंस में. एक दफा आपने ऐसा करना है कि कॉलन या सेमी कॉलन डाल के इनको यूज करना है, और दूसरी दफा आपने फुल स्टॉप डाल के इनको यूज करना है. मैं आपको सिर्फ एक सेंटेंस दूंगी, आप सेमी कॉलन और फुल स्टॉप खुद पुट इन कर सकते हैं, ठीक है. हाउएवर, आई डिसाइडेड टू गो टू माई ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स हाउस, कॉलन, हाउएवर इट वॉज टू डार्क for me to leave the house. और उसको आप full stop डाल के भी लिख सकते हैं. Still, I am waiting for my uncle to arrive. Still, there is no call from his side. ठीक है? Nevertheless, the story ended at a happy note. Nevertheless, I was a little dissatisfied by the way the villain was killed, or the villain was served his sentence. ठीक है. Instead, I asked for biryani instead of the pulao which my mom was giving me. Right? Furthermore, you must work seriously hard for your upcoming exams. Furthermore, you must stop all the activities that are wasting your time. Consequently, he was misbehaving with the elders. Consequently, he had to suffer from a long punishment. Consequently, he was grounded for a week. And similarly, my uncle gave me a brand new iPad for my birthday. Similarly, my aunt gave me another iPad, and now I'm stuck with 2 iPads at the same time. Let's quickly recapitulate today's lesson. What did we do? We did Unit 3, Mysteries in general, from the Oxford Progressive Tree in specific, and the name of the comprehension was Daud's Ride, a True Story. We did Reading for Inference, Vocabulary, Conjunctions, and I hope that all of you have enjoyed the comprehension as well. पढ़ते रहो, हंसते खेलते भी रहो, मुझे सबको दुआओं में याद रखो. Until we meet next time, it's Allah Hafiz.